This is a very, very sad reality for a lot of men. The fact that divorce is so incentivized for women and that the family courts really drag men back and forth across the coals. So what are your options? You can stay in your marriage where you're unhappy. You're probably not getting any. And if you are getting some, it's probably not very good. But at least you're able to somewhat enjoy the things that you've earned, like your house, your vehicles. Maybe you got a shop. Being in the same house as your kids. You're in a routine, a miserable routine. Or you can go ahead and get divorced and lose probably most, if not all, of everything that you've worked for. Have your children be weaponized against you in the form of child support, maybe alimony, and end up in an apartment somewhere, and you probably can't even have your dog. Men are literally being forced to choose the lesser of two evils. And what I find very interesting about a few studies that I read on PubMed and some psychology websites is that further along in the years of marriage, when things sort of start to fizzle out, men have a better capacity for reigniting flame, like passion, interest, desire, than women do. Women will go out and seek emotional connection in the community. They can get the same sort of emotional validation, even off of social media, from just having a bunch of people agree with them. That's all they really need. Men desperately need a physical connection. Well, we all know if you go out and you sow your oats and try to get your physical connection somewhere else, things aren't going to end very good. So again, the lesser of two evils. Stay in a miserable marriage where you never get to feel like anybody gives a shit about you, or be divorced and alone and feel like nobody gives a shit about you. It is very disturbing to me that the unaliving rate of men is not causing sheer hysteria in our nation. Because if the roles were reversed and that was all women, you can guarantee that we would have research, funding. We would get a whole new department to oversee it. We would call it a crisis. And it would be like all hands on deck to solve this problem. And I think what makes me extra bitter, and yes, I am very bitter about this. It's not just the double standard, but it's also the tunnel vision where women cannot see outside, even past their own fucking nose, to realize that when these statistics are applying to men, they will apply to their sons. They will apply to their brothers. They will apply to their cousins, their uncles, and their fathers. And so just by virtue of the fact that women are not absolutely up in arms and doing everything humanly possible to support men and to champion the cause of them to understand that they do matter, that their efforts are appreciated, that they make a fucking difference in this world, and that we do realize and recognize that there are far, far more good men than bad. Okay, so you got a handful of bad guys. Well, there are just as many women whose halos have done burned up a long fucking time ago. Social media loves to blow it up to make it sound like there's a creepster behind every corner. But let's review this again. When you are in trouble, ladies, who do you call? Another man to come and rescue you. This is a very, very sad reality for a lot of men. The fact that divorce is so incentivized for women and